January 31st, 2023, Tiba Alali, a rising YouTube star, was murdered by her own father in Iraq. Her crime, independence, she built a life in Turkey and documented it online. But her family believed she brought shame, and their honor demanded blood. There are 8 times YouTubers who were brutally murdered.
Her name was Kandil Baloch.
कुछ ऐसा करूंगी कि लोग परेशान हो जाएंगे.
She was a huge social media star in Pakistan, but in July, her own brother confessed he killed her.
It's July 16th, 2016. The most controversial social media star in Pakistan is found dead in her home. Only days before, she begged the government for protection from death threats. But why would anyone have wanted her dead? Born Fawzia Azim, Kandil grew up in rural Pakistan. She first caught attention in 2013 as a contestant on Pakistan Idol. But it was her bold social media presence that made her famous and infamous. With nearly 1 million Facebook followers at her peak, she became known as Pakistan's Kim Kardashian. But unlike her American counterpart, Kandil faced deadly consequences for her fame. At just 17, Kandil was forced into marriage. She escaped after a year, losing custody of her son. Alone and determined, she built her social media brand from scratch. Her videos, often playful, sometimes political, challenged traditional gender roles in Pakistan. She danced in short dresses, spoke openly about women's rights, and called herself a modern-day feminist. Kandil knew the risks. In interviews, she spoke about how difficult it was for women to move freely in Pakistani society. "You know what happens with girls here," she once said. "You know the kinds of offers they make girls here. You know how they misuse girls who are new to the industry." Her turning point came after a controversial meeting with Mufti Abdul Qavi, a senior religious leader. Kandil posted selfies and videos of their encounter, including one where she wore his signature cap. The backlash was immediate and severe. Qavi was suspended from his religious post, and death threats against Kandil intensified. Facing mounting danger, Kandil petitioned the government for protection. She knew her family's honor was at stake, and that in Pakistan, honor killings claim over 1,000 women's lives each year. Despite her pleas, no help came. Then, her personal information, including her real name and family details, was leaked online. Suddenly, her family became directly tied to her controversial career. The pressure mounted. On July 16, 2016, Kandil's brother, Muhammad Wasim, drugged and her while she slept in her parents' home. He later proudly confessed at a police press conference, saying, "Girls are born only to stay at home and to bring honor to the family by following family traditions." But Kandil had never done that. The murder sparked national outrage in Pakistan. Kandil's death became a catalyst for legal reform. The government quickly passed new laws to restrict family pardons in honor-killing cases, but loopholes remained. Initially, Kandil's parents demanded justice for their daughter. Her father, who depended on her financial support, vowed never to forgive his son. But as time passed and their situation grew desperate, they changed their minds and sought his pardon. Wasim was convicted and sentenced to life in prison in 2019, but just 3 years later he was acquitted by an appeals court. Key witnesses, including Kandil's parents, had withdrawn their statements. The state's case collapsed. Today, Wasim walks free. Kandil's death forced Pakistan to confront its treatment of women in the digital age. But her killer's release sends a chilling message. In the name of honor, justice remains elusive for many Pakistani women. Before her murder, Kandil posted a defiant photo of herself, a final message to her followers. "I will bounce back," she wrote.
"I want to inspire women who have been treated badly and dominated by society."
Her voice was silenced, but her legacy endures as a symbol of resistance against oppression. However, next up is another truly sickening case where a YouTuber was brutally murdered by her own family in a disgusting, brainless so-called honor killing.
Shocking news coming in from Iraq. Now, people in Iraq are furious over the death of a young YouTube star, Tiba Al-Ali, who has been killed allegedly by her own father in a reported case of so-called honor killing.
January 31st, 2023, a quiet night in Dawanya, Iraq. shattered by a father's confession of murder. His daughter, Tiba al-Ali, was found strangled in her sleep. What triggered this act wasn't money, rivalry, or revenge, but the concept of honor in a conservative society. Tiba al-Ali wasn't just an ordinary young woman from Iraq. Born in 2000, she moved to Turkey in 2017 and began sharing her life as a YouTuber. Her channel grew quickly, 18,000 subscribers and over 90,000 views, showing her adventures in Istanbul with her Syrian fiancé, Mohammed al-Shami. Her content focused on daily life, independence, and her new experiences away from traditional constraints. Tiba's story starts with a painful truth. At 18, she left Iraq after reportedly facing sexual harassment by her brother. Istanbul became her sanctuary, where she built a life and career. Her videos showed confidence and happiness, qualities that clashed with her family's strict expectations. In January 2023, she returned to Iraq to support the national football team. Despite warning signs, her Instagram posts revealed family threats, yet she agreed to meet her mother in Baghdad. Instead of a reunion, she found the entire family waiting to force her back to Diwania. Police were aware of the threats against Tiba. 5 days before her death, they tried to mediate the family dispute. Their attempts failed, and Tiba was taken by force to Diwania. There, she was put under constant surveillance. On January 31st, while she slept, her father killed her. He later turned himself in, claiming he needed to wash away the shame brought by her independence.
Ali's death has sparked uproar among Iraqis on social media, who have called for protests in Baghdad on Sunday to demand justice for the YouTube star.
Social media exploded with hashtag Justice for Tiba, demanding legal reform. Veteran politician Ala Talabani wrote on Twitter, "Women in our societies are hostage to backward customs due to the absence of legal deterrence and government measures, which currently are not commensurate with the size of domestic violence crimes." Human rights organizations pointed to the lack of laws protecting women and criticized Iraq's penal code, which still treats honor crimes with leniency. Tiba's father received only a 6-month prison sentence, a stark reminder of the legal system's failure to protect women. Her death renewed calls for Iraq's long-stalled Domestic Violence Protection Act, first introduced in 2014. Protests erupted in Baghdad, demanding justice and new laws. Activists highlighted how traditional values and weak legal protections create a culture where such violence continues. Tiba's story became a rallying cry for women's rights in Iraq and beyond. Tiba's murder was a breaking point in the ongoing struggle for women's rights in Iraq. The public response forced politicians and religious leaders to confront uncomfortable truths about honor killings. International media attention brought global awareness to Iraq's treatment of women and the urgent need for legal reform. Her case joined a growing list of victims demanding justice and change. But at the end of the day, there's truly nothing honorable about this murder. Just pure stupidity, cruelty, and shame.
New at 10, a Valley couple was murdered on the Las Vegas Strip, and the entire shooting was live streamed on YouTube. It happened last Sunday night near the Bellagio fountains.
Ruiz, known as Sin City Manny, is charged with 2 felony counts of murder in last month's deadly shooting of Rodney and Tanisha Finley in front of the Bellagio fountains. Both victims died at the scene.
June 8th. 2025. The famous Bellagio fountains in Las Vegas shimmered behind Rodney and Tanisha Finley. They were live streaming for their followers, never realizing these would be their last moments. Rodney, known as Finny Da Legend, was a rising YouTube star with over 6,000 subscribers. His wife Tanisha often appeared in his videos. According to his mother, he was always the funniest person in the room. The couple's channel had exploded in popularity far faster than they ever expected. But success on YouTube came with a dark side. For over a year, Rodney had been locked in a heated feud with another streamer, Manuel Sin City Manny Ruiz. What started as online trash talk quickly spiraled out of control. At one point, Ruiz even pepper sprayed Tanisha during an earlier confrontation in 2023. Despite the escalating threats, Rodney tried to keep things non-violent. Instead of physical retaliation, he chose to fight back with his content. Friends described him as a man who controlled his emotions very well and would rather talk things out than fight. But Ruiz couldn't handle losing followers as Rodney's fame grew. The feud intensified. At one point, Ruiz reportedly told Rodney, "I hope your mom has a black dress, because I'm gonna kill you." Tanisha's presence in the video seemed to only fuel the jealousy. On June 8th, the tension finally boiled over. Rodney and Tanisha were live streaming from the Las Vegas Strip when they noticed Ruiz nearby. According to witnesses watching both streams, Ruiz appeared to be looking for them across the street at the Paris Hotel and Casino. Rodney's mother was watching the live stream from her home in Phoenix. She called her son, worried about what might happen. He answered, "Mom, I can't talk to you right now because I'm live streaming." Moments later, gunshots rang out. The phone dropped. The stream went dark. Both Rodney and Tanisha died at the scene. Their killer, Manuel Ruiz, turned himself into police the next day, claiming self-defense. But investigators quickly dismissed that story. No weapons were found on or near the victims. Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson called the self-defense claim garbage and said the motivation was pretty clear. The murder shocked the online streaming community. Friends and fans mourned the loss of two vibrant personalities. Rodney's friend Derek described him as a good father who took care of his kids, and Tanisha as someone who lit up every room she entered. In a tragic twist, two of the 911 calls reporting the shooting came from family members who were watching the live stream from Phoenix. Rodney's son and Tanisha's mother both witnessed the murders in real time. Ruiz now faces 2 counts of murder with a deadly weapon. Prosecutors are considering seeking the death penalty. The case stands as a grim reminder of how online feuds can escalate into real-world violence, with devastating consequences. But if you think this story is shocking, wait until you see what happened when online fame clashed with real-world danger in our next case.
Christina Grimmie, the rising young voice star, gunned down at a performance.
Family and friends gathering tonight in her New Jersey hometown to celebrate the singer who was shot after a concert in Orlando 1 week ago.
Christina's journey began in Marlton, New Jersey. Born on March 12, 1994, she grew up surrounded by music. Her father recognized her vocal talent when she was just 6 years old. By 10, she'd taught herself to play piano by ear, a skill that would later define her unique sound. At 15, Christina took her passion online. Under the username ZeldaXLove64, she began sharing covers of popular songs on YouTube. Her soulful voice and magnetic personality quickly set her apart from other aspiring artists. One of her early covers, Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA, caught the internet's attention in 2009. But it was her collaboration on Nelly's Just a Dream with fellow YouTubers Sam Sui and Kurt Hugo Schneider that truly launched her online fame, eventually amassing over 190 million views. As her YouTube channel gained momentum, Christina released her debut EP Find Me in 2011. The project was an independent success, debuting at number 35 on the Billboard 200 chart. Her growing popularity earned her a spot on Selena Gomez's We Own the Night tour, further expanding her audience. By 2013, her YouTube channel reached 2 million subscribers, and she released her first full-length album, With Love. In 2014, Christina took her talent to a national stage on Season 6 of The Voice. All 4 coaches turned their chairs during her blind audition, a rare feat. She ultimately chose Adam Levine as her mentor, finishing 3rd overall. Levine was so moved by her talent that he promised to sign her to his label, regardless of the show's outcome. After The Voice, Christina continued building her career. She released new music, collaborated with Dove Cameron on the Disney Channel song What a Girl Is, and opened for artists like Rachel Platten and Before You Exit. She also maintained a strong presence on social media and YouTube, connecting with her loyal fan base. But Christina's story took a tragic turn on June 10, 2016. That night, she performed at the Plaza Live in Orlando with Before You Exit. After the show, she held a meet and greet with fans inside the venue. At 10:24 p.m., 27-year-old Kevin James Loibel approached her. Christina, ever welcoming, opened her arms for a hug. Loibel pulled out a Glock pistol and shot her 3 times at close range, once in the head and twice in the chest. Her brother Marcus, who was working at a nearby merchandise table, immediately tackled the gunman. In the ensuing struggle, Loibel broke free, backed against a wall, and fatally shot himself. Christina was rushed to Orlando Regional Medical Center, where she was pronounced dead at 10:59 p.m. Investigators later discovered that Leubel had traveled from St. Petersburg, Florida, with the specific intent of killing Christina. He brought 2 handguns, extra ammunition, and a large hunting knife. Though he had no criminal record, Leubel exhibited an unhealthy obsession with Christina. He tried to change his appearance through weight loss, hair transplants, and eye surgery, all in a delusional attempt to attract her attention. The tragedy sparked an outpouring of grief from fans, fellow musicians, and the broader entertainment community. Adam Levine offered to pay for Christina's funeral, and a GoFundMe campaign raised over $170,000 for her family. Her private funeral was held on June 16th in New Jersey, followed by a public memorial attended by hundreds. In the aftermath, Christina's death prompted widespread discussion about security at live events and the dangers faced by public figures. Her murder led to increased safety measures at concerts and conventions, including metal detectors and enhanced security protocols. Despite the tragedy, Christina's legacy continues through her music and the work of the Christina Grimmie Foundation. The organization supports families affected by gun violence and breast cancer, causes close to her heart. Her posthumous releases, including the albums Side B and All Is Vanity, showcase the immense talent the world lost too soon. Her story is also a stark reminder of both the power and peril of internet fame. She used her platform to spread joy, connect with fans, and pursue her musical dreams. Yet her tragic end highlights the very real dangers faced by public figures in this digital age. However, up next, we turn to another creator whose life was cut short, not by an obsessed fan, but by his own hands. June 26, 2017, in the small town of Hallstatt, Minnesota, 2 young parents set up cameras, hoping to become YouTube stars. What happened next would shock the world. Pedro Ruiz was 22 years old, a railroad worker with dreams of internet fame. He and his girlfriend, Mona Lisa Perez, started their YouTube channel, La Mona Lisa, just a few months earlier. Their content was mostly harmless pranks and daily vlogs. Simple things like hiding hot peppers in sandwiches or switching baby powder for powdered sugar on donuts. But Pedro wanted more. He craved viral success and bigger stunts. That desire would prove fatal. For weeks, Pedro tried to convince Mona Lisa to participate in a dangerous stunt. His plan? He would hold a hardcover encyclopedia against his chest, and she would fire a powerful Desert Eagle pistol at close range. Pedro believed the thick book would stop the bullet. Mona Lisa was hesitant. She repeatedly told him no, but Pedro persisted, even demonstrating with another book that appeared to stop a bullet in a previous test. Eventually, Mona Lisa agreed, despite being 7 months pregnant with their second child. They set up 2 cameras to record the stunt. Their 3-year-old daughter was present, along with nearly 30 onlookers. Before filming, Mona Lisa tweeted, "Me and Pedro are probably going to shoot one of the most dangerous videos ever. His idea, not mine." With cameras rolling, Mona Lisa fired the Desert Eagle from about a foot away. The bullet tore through the 1.5-inch book and struck Pedro in the chest. He collapsed instantly. Mona Lisa called 911, frantic. "We were doing a YouTube video and it went wrong. Please hurry up. He wanted to see if I could shoot his gun in a book, and it went and shot him, and it's all on recording. Please someone hurry up. He's gonna die." Paramedics arrived quickly, but Pedro was pronounced dead at the scene. The cameras captured everything. The tragedy shocked their families and the YouTube community. Pedro's aunt, Claudia Ruiz, said, "They were in love. They loved each other. It was just a prank gone wrong. It shouldn't have happened like this. It shouldn't have happened at all." Mona Lisa was arrested and charged with second-degree manslaughter. She later pleaded guilty and received a 6-month jail sentence, 10 years of supervised probation, and a lifetime ban on owning firearms. She also agreed never to profit from the incident. Pedro's death became a cautionary tale about the dangers of chasing internet fame. His obituary read, "Everyone that knew him knew that he never hesitated to try something new, always pushing things to their limits." But the Ruiz tragedy was just the beginning. Next, we'll look at how another YouTuber's quest for breakthrough content on the platform led to an even more shocking outcome. January 3, 2013, the quiet town of Carnesville, Georgia, woke up to news that would send shockwaves through the online firearms community. Keith Ratliff, co-owner of FPS Industries and a prominent figure in the YouTube channel FPS Russia, had been found shot dead in his office. The circumstances surrounding his death would spark countless theories and leave more questions than answers. Keith Ratliff was more than just a gun enthusiast. He was a self-taught computer whiz from Frankfort, Kentucky, who turned his childhood passion for technology and adventure into a thriving career. As the technical expert behind FPS Russia, one of YouTube's most popular firearms channels, Ratliff helped produce content that educated millions about guns and explosives in an engaging, often humorous way. In early 2012, Ratliff moved to Carnesville to pursue his dream of running a custom firearms fabrication and testing company. FPS Industries quickly became his life's work, even as he maintained close ties with his family in Kentucky. His wife Amanda and young son remained there while he built the business in Georgia. The events leading up to Ratliff's death seemed ordinary. He spent Christmas with his grandmother and spoke with his sister Corey on Christmas Eve. After returning to Georgia, he continued working at FPS Industries, living in an apartment connected to the warehouse. But the morning of January 3rd would change everything. An employee arriving for work that day discovered Ratliff's body. He had been shot once in the head, surrounded by several firearms, but not the one that killed him. There were no signs of forced entry or struggle, leading investigators to believe he was killed by someone he trusted or ambushed without warning. Surveillance equipment and some firearms were missing from the scene. Ratliff's death sent shockwaves through the online gun community. FPS Russia was the 9th largest YouTube channel at the time, with millions of subscribers and hundreds of millions of views. Fans struggled to comprehend how a firearms expert could be killed in his own workshop without defending himself. His brother Kelly expressed disbelief, stating, "For him not to pull out that gun and try to defend himself, he had to feel comfortable around somebody, either that or he was ambushed." The investigation, led by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, initially seemed promising. Authorities believed they had identified the murder weapon, though they wouldn't confirm if it was among the guns found at the scene. But as days turned into weeks, and then years, the case grew colder. Ratliff's death immediately impacted FPS Russia. Production halted for several weeks before tentatively resuming. The community mourned the loss of a beloved figure, while conspiracy theories about his murder spread across the internet. Some speculated about professional jealousy, others about illegal firearms, deals gone wrong, but no concrete evidence emerged to support any theory. The case remains unsolved to this day, with investigators maintaining that whoever killed Ratliff could still pose a threat to others who might have information. The GBI continues to urge anyone with knowledge about the case to come forward, emphasizing that even seemingly minor details could break the case open. For Ratliff's family, the lack of closure is a daily torment. His sister Corey describes living in constant fear, always looking over her shoulder. She voices the family's desperate need for answers, saying, "We just want to know who killed him, and we want to know why they killed him." But coming up next is the story of a YouTuber whose killer wasn't a stranger, but someone shockingly close to her.
Hi everyone! Happy late Mother's Day.
Tamisha Yvette Ridge, known to many of her YouTube followers as Misha, used social media to spread her knowledge of fashion design onto others.
May 14th, 2014, Tamisha Ridge, a beloved YouTube fashion instructor, posts her final video, never knowing it would be her last lesson for her 140,000 subscribers. Tamisha, known online as Misha Boo, was more than just a YouTuber. She was a 31-year-old mother of 3 who used her platform to teach people how to create stylish outfits on a budget. Her charisma and genuine passion for sewing turned her into a minor celebrity in the DIY fashion world. But beneath her bright smile, Tamisha was hiding a darker reality, a history of domestic abuse from her ex-boyfriend, Damishlo Green. Green and Tamisha had a complicated on-and-off relationship spanning 10 years. They shared one daughter together, but after a 5-year breakup, they briefly reunited before Tamisha decided to end things for good. According to her mother, Tina Martin, Tamisha had confided that Green was abusive. Martin recalled,
"I knew he was abusive, but I didn't know he was crazy."
But her life abruptly came to an end Wednesday morning when she was shot in her South Sacramento home. Homicide investigators say Tamisha's ex-boyfriend, Damishlo Green, snuck into her bedroom and opened fire while she slept.
The weeks leading up to her death were tense. Tamisha thought she had finally broken free from Green's control. She focused on her children, her YouTube channel, and her online fabric store. Fans like fellow designer Lauren Taylor of Mississippi watched her videos daily, drawn to her warm spirit and creative energy. She had a wonderful, beautiful spirit about herself, always smiling. Taylor remembered, "You got the impression she was a really nice girl that really just loved to sew and wanted to share that with the world." But Green couldn't let go. His history of domestic violence escalated. On the night of May 14, 2014, he entered Tamisha's Sacramento home, where her 3 children and several relatives were also present. He found her sleeping and shot her in the head with a shotgun. The impact was immediate and devastating. Tamisha's loyal followers flooded social media with tributes, using the hashtag Misha taught me to mourn her loss. One fan wrote, "Tamisha Ridge was the first person to convince me I could sew. She has been such an inspiration. Rip sweet Misha." Green turned himself in for a parole violation and was soon charged with homicide. His trial revealed a pattern of abuse and violence. In 2018, a jury found him guilty of first-degree murder and possession of a firearm as a felon. He received a 75 years to life sentence and is currently serving time at Pelican Bay State Prison, eligible for parole in 2039. Tamisha's legacy lives on through her YouTube tutorials and the countless people she inspired to sew. Her mother's words serve as a powerful warning. Be stronger and leave. Think about your kids. You have to think about your safety and the kids. Her story was later featured in Investigation Discovery's Web of Lies episode titled Death of an Internet Star. Tamisha Ridge's life and tragic death highlight the hidden dangers of domestic violence, even for those who seem to have it all together online. Her final video remains a silent testament to a life cut short by senseless violence. But as shocking as Tamisha's story is, the next case on our list reveals how social media fame can sometimes attract even more dangerous attention. August 2021, Gabby Petito, a 22-year-old vlogger, and her fiancé Brian Laundrie set out for what was supposed to be the road trip of a lifetime. They planned to document their 4-month van life journey across the United States, sharing every moment with their growing social media following. Gabby Petito, born in Blue Point, New York in 1999, was raised in a blended family with 6 younger siblings and half-siblings. She graduated from Bayport Blue Point High School in 2017 and later worked in North Carolina before moving in with Brian and his parents in Florida. Together, they shared a love for travel and adventure, which led to their decision to convert a van into a camper and embrace the nomadic lifestyle so many dream of. Their relationship, however, was far from the picture-perfect image presented on Instagram and YouTube. Friends described their bond as increasingly toxic, marked by jealousy issues and frequent arguments. Despite this, Gabby was determined to make their van life dream a reality, working multiple jobs to save money, while Brian took a job at a juice bar. The cracks in their relationship became public on August 12, 2021, when police in Moab, Utah, responded to a 911 call about a domestic disturbance. Witnesses reported seeing Brian hit Gabby, and body camera footage from the police encounter later went viral. In the footage, Gabby is visibly upset, explaining that she has OCD and was stressed about building her blog. Both downplayed the physical altercation, but the tension was undeniable. Police separated the couple for the night, with Brian staying in a hotel and Gabby keeping the van. This intervention would later come under intense scrutiny, as many believed it was a missed opportunity to prevent what was to come. In the following weeks, the couple continued their journey, visiting national parks and documenting their travels, but behind the curated social media posts, their relationship continued to unravel. On August 27th, things took a dark turn. CCTV footage captured Gabby and Brian at a Whole Foods in Jackson, Wyoming, just before they drove to their campsite. That same day, a strange text was sent from Gabby's phone to her mother.
"Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls."
Stan was Gabby's grandfather, but she never referred to him by his first name, a detail that immediately concerned her family. Witnesses later reported seeing Brian alone near the Spread Creek dispersed camping area, acting strangely. Over the next 2 days, multiple people encountered him hitchhiking, offering huge amounts of money for short rides, and appearing anxious about returning to the campsite. On August 30th, another text was sent from Gabby's phone. No service in Yosemite. Her mother didn't believe it was from Gabby, and it would be the last message ever received. September 1st. Brian returned to his parents' home in Florida, alone. He did not explain Gabby's absence, and his parents quickly hired a lawyer, refusing to speak with anyone about her whereabouts. Gabby's mother reported her missing on September 11th, sparking a national search effort. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that Brian was avoiding authorities, and his parents' silence only fueled suspicion. On September 19th, the search came to a tragic end. Gabby's remains were found near the Spread Creek dispersed camping area in Wyoming. The autopsy revealed blunt force injuries to her head and neck, along with evidence of manual strangulation. She had been dead for 3 to 4 weeks before her body was discovered. The investigation then turned to Brian, who disappeared shortly after Gabby's remains were found. His parents claimed he went hiking in the Carlton Reserve, sparking a massive search effort that would last for weeks. On October 20th, Brian's skeletal remains were found in the Miakahatchee Creek Environmental Park. Alongside his body, authorities recovered a backpack, notebook, and a revolver. The medical examiner later determined he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. In January 2022, the FBI revealed that Brian's notebook contained a confession to Gabby's murder. His written account claimed he killed her after she fell and injured herself, but investigators found his story inconsistent with the evidence. Now, the case captured national attention, sparking debates about domestic violence, social media influence, and media coverage disparities. Gabby's father initially struggled with the spotlight. Still, he later used it to advocate for missing persons from marginalized communities through the Gabby Petito Foundation and the television series Faces of the Missing. Lawsuits followed, including a $3 million settlement against Brian's estate and ongoing legal action against the Moab Police Department for their handling of the initial domestic disturbance. Gabby Petito's story became a cautionary tale about the dangers hidden behind carefully curated social media images. Her tragic end exposed the dark reality behind the perfect Instagram posts and highlighted the urgent need for domestic violence awareness.